Sweet Tea, how do you think Greg handled himself with King?
I think that he handled himself as best as he could.
Okay.
I think that, he's a doctor and he's not going to fight.
Y'all, grab your popcorn because what just went down on that reunion stage, it's the kind of tea that makes your jaw drop and your heart ache all at once. Sweet Tea, who's been nothing but open, raw, and real about her struggles to become a mom, just turned the whole room upside down. From hormone injections to breakdowns so painful they had viewers tearing up at home, she let the world see her most vulnerable side, all while trying to build a future with Dr. Gregory Lunsford, aka Dr. G. But while Sweet Tea was doing everything to bring a baby into the world, her husband, he might have already planted those seeds, just not with her. We're talking side chicks, secret baby rumors, and the kind of betrayal you don't bounce back from. And it didn't just drop out of nowhere. Sweet Tea herself revealed in a recent episode that she started hearing whispers about another woman allegedly pregnant by Dr. G. Now, baby, let's rewind and break this all the way down because the truth is even wilder than the rumors.
I was pissed off and I was like, you know what? Like, why would you want to be there, And then looking at it, like, you've been shading me since the first episode. Like, I didn't know, it's just a lot of things were going on behind my back that I did not know about. And I was just kind of hurt and shocked by it. Yeah. And I just wanted to let her know, like, I'm not pushover and you ain't gonna get away with it.
Sweet Tea didn't sugarcoat anything about her fertility journey. Early on, she opened up about how she and Dr. G had tried multiple IUI treatments, and each time it ended in disappointment. They were crushed. But instead of giving up, Sweet Tea took a leap of faith and said yes to IVF, the more intense physically and emotionally draining route. And baby, she went all in. Every day, she was injecting hormones into her body, battling wild mood swings, painful bloating, weight gain, all while trying to keep it together emotionally. This wasn't just about having a baby. This was her dream, and she was doing it under insane pressure. Married to a man who had already lived out a messy public divorce on national TV. At the reunion, Sweet Tea broke down recounting how exhausting and heartbreaking the process had been. Sitting across from Andy Cohen and the rest of the cast, she poured out her pain through tears. The part that hit hardest? She was doing everything right and still not getting the results she prayed for. But the pain didn't stop there. Just when you think she's been through enough, here comes the ultimate slap in the face. Rumors that her own husband was stepping out. And not just cheating, allegedly having a baby with someone else while Sweet Tea was jabbing herself with hormones trying to build a family with him. Even Andy looked shook hearing it. And the rest of the cast? Silent, you could hear a pin drop. They may not always agree with Sweet Tea, but in that moment they felt her pain. From the very start, Dr. G was adamant about wanting a baby. He even gave her a deadline, a strict 2-year window to get pregnant. Like, who does that? It wasn't just an idea. It became a dark cloud hanging over their marriage. Sweet Tea admitted that deadline made her feel like she was in a race against someone else's clock. She was injecting herself daily, tracking every little hormone change, all while being reminded constantly that time was running out. And here's the kicker. That timeline wasn't flexible. Greg made it clear, if she didn't have a baby within 2 years, their marriage might not survive. Dr. Simone chimed in at the reunion and dragged Greg's mindset all the way to hell. She reminded him and everyone watching that Greg isn't exactly 25 anymore. He's in his mid-50s, so the clock's ticking for him too. If anyone should understand the biological limitations and emotional pressure of fertility, it's him. But instead of being a support system, he was out here applying pressure like a damn stopwatch. Simone wasn't having it. She called it what it was. Not love, control. And just when you thought Greg's countdown was the biggest villain of this story, baby, there was more bubbling behind the scenes.
Hours before Sweet Tea's wedding. And do you think she's ready to be married based on the bridal shower and how she acted out and all the things about the relationship? Do you have concern? Because I know I do.
While Sweet Tea was crying, injecting hormones, and dreaming of her miracle baby, ATL started buzzing. The streets were talking, and what they were saying, Chiaili, it was bad. Rumors started flying that Dr. G had allegedly gotten another woman pregnant. Sweet Tea confirmed she heard the whispers while she was still in the thick of IVF. Can you even imagine? You're going through the most painful experience of your life, and meanwhile, there's talk that your husband's already starting a family elsewhere? The humiliation? Unbearable. And the timeline? Honey, it's messy. Based on when she started her fertility journey and when those baby rumors dropped, the dates were way too close for comfort. Fans and bloggers started connecting the dots. Receipts started circulating. Screenshots, DMs, baby photos, cryptic posts, and all of it pointing to Greg being connected to a woman not on the show. One woman in particular was allegedly tied to the rumors. She supposedly gave birth right around the time Sweet Tea was still doing hormone shots. Fans lined up her social media posts with Greg's known whereabouts, and baby, it was looking suspicious. Nothing's been publicly confirmed by Greg, but his silence has only added fuel to the fire. So while Sweet Tea was literally begging her body to cooperate and praying for her turn to become a mom, Greg was allegedly already out here playing daddy to someone else's child.
Saw a side of Dr. G that I ain't gonna say I didn't think it was there. I believed what Quad said about him at that reunion. I do. And it's just, we got to see it for ourselves. Let me say that. Because I told y'all, side note, a lot of stuff is said about Dr. G, y'all.
By the time the reunion hit its peak, Sweet Tea had it. Her body language said everything. Arms crossed, cold eyes, barely looking at Greg. And when Andy asked her directly, did she feel supported by Greg through it all? She paused, then quietly said, I feel alone. And just like that, the floodgates opened. Her voice trembled, but she laid it all out. She wasn't just hearing rumors. She had confirmation from people she trusted. And looking back, all the red flags she'd ignored suddenly made perfect sense. Greg being oddly distant during key IVF appointments. Him suddenly having urgent work meetings when she needed him most. At first, she brushed it off, but now she saw it for what it was. Sweet Tea said it best. I was out here fighting for our baby. Meanwhile, you might have had one on the way with someone else. Boom. The room went dead silent. Even Andy couldn't hide the shock on his face. Right after, Dr. Simone jumped back in, this time fully in Sweet Tea's corner. She made it crystal clear this wasn't Tea's fault. She wasn't being dramatic. She wasn't being emotional. She was betrayed. And suddenly, women who'd clashed with her all season, Contessa, Phaedra, even Toya, all nodded in agreement. Whatever beef they had before, it didn't matter now because they saw the pain, the truth. Meanwhile, Greg just sat there, silent, blank stare, barely offering a defense. When asked directly about the rumors, he gave nothing. Just vague, mumbled responses that made everything look even worse. Viewers exploded online. Social media lit up with people asking, was Greg always this cold? Did he ever plan to build a real future with Sweet Tea? Or was she just filling a space after his breakup with Quad? Some fans even speculated that Sweet Tea was never the plan, just a stand-in while Greg explored his options. But guess what? It gets deeper because Sweet Tea also spilled tea about why she didn't use Jackie for her fertility treatments, even though Jackie's known for helping women through IVF. The reason? Jackie is Quad's OB/GYN, Quad as in Greg's ex-wife, and Sweet Tea wasn't having it. She didn't feel comfortable getting fertility help from a woman still connected to her husband's past. She wanted boundaries, and frankly, she deserved them. When Andy pushed Greg asking why he suggested Jackie in the first place, Greg stumbled, said Jackie was trustworthy and experienced. But then Andy asked if he still had feelings for Quad, and Greg froze. Didn't answer. Didn't deny, just awkward silence. And baby, that hesitation said everything. Now fans are questioning whether Greg's whole motivation, even his baby pressure, was tangled up in unresolved baggage from his past marriage.
Take bullying, it's like, I don't feel like it's cool. And the guys, they said they were gonna handle it, and that didn't work out. So it's just like, I really don't know how to feel about it. I can't stay locked in one emotional state, trying to move on, so there it is.
The second that reunion episode wrapped, social media exploded. And this time, the internet was riding hard for Sweet Tea. Just a few episodes ago, she had her critics. People calling her dramatic, too emotional, too intense. But now? Oh no. Now it was justice for Sweet Tea all over the timeline. Team T was trending. Fans were reposting her reunion clips with captions like, she deserves better, gaslighted and betrayed, and this woman fought alone because at the end of the day, people saw it. She gave that marriage everything. She risked her body, she showed her soul, she tried. And Greg, he was allegedly out there playing house with another woman while Sweet Tea was literally breaking herself down for them. Fans started asking real questions. Did Greg ever love her the way he claimed? Was she just the next chapter after Quad, a rebound wrapped in baby expectations? Or was she simply the woman he thought would stay silent while he did what he wanted behind closed doors? Old clips of Greg's past behavior resurfaced. His cold, controlling tone, his obsession with timelines, his refusal to show vulnerability. And suddenly, the picture started to make sense. Then came the mic drop moment, her final words of the night. Sweet Tea looked Greg dead in the eyes and said, I was fighting for a family. He already had one, just not with me. Silence. Goosebumps. That was it. That wasn't just a clapback. That was the kind of truth that echoes in your chest. She wasn't just calling out betrayal. She was reclaiming her voice. She was done being the one blamed, silenced, pitied. This whole season, Sweet Tea gave viewers a front row seat to her pain. But in that moment, she gave them power. She showed every woman who's ever begged for love, ever fought to make it work while being lied to, that you can still walk away with dignity. And where does she go from here? Well, officially, there's been no confirmation of a separation, but baby, her body language, her eyes, her energy at that reunion, she is gone. Sources close to production say Sweet Tea has already emotionally checked out of that marriage. She's weighing her legal options, and if those baby rumors are true, oh, it's about to get real messy. We're talking prenups, we're talking possible custody drama, we're talking spousal support, all of it. And let's not forget, Sweet Tea made her mark this season. Love her or hate her, you watched. You felt something. She brought authenticity, vulnerability, and real-life stakes that most reality stars only pretend to have. That's why buzz is already building online about a possible spin-off series or even a full sit-down tell-all interview where she spills every last detail. No filters, no censors, her words only. Because right now, fans don't want to hear from Greg. They don't want his excuses, his stumbles, his vague answers. They want tea, and they want it hot. So what do y'all think? Did Dr. G destroy this marriage for good? Was Sweet Tea set up from the start? Or is there another twist waiting in the wings? One thing's for sure, this reunion didn't just close a chapter. It started a new storyline. And this time, Sweet Tea's not the one begging for a baby. She's done begging, period. She's building her own story now, and trust we'll all be watching. So go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments. Did Greg's silence speak volumes? Should Sweet Tea walk and never look back? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the latest updates, because this drama, baby, it's far from over. Baby, it's far.